all that goes with that. I mean, I love people and I love the work that I do. And one of the beautiful things that we get to do as actors is be completely subjective when we approach our characters. We just love them and back them up. We're their advocate. So this was somebody I felt I could really back up. And she's flawed, and that's what good writing is all about. One of the things that I loved so much about it was that there wasn't a villain in the story. Everyone is real, and it's very hard to write well when you don't write a villain. It's much easier if you have a sort of protagonist and antagonist and all that, but this is more subtle than that, and that really interested me because I think that's more like real life in many cases. Every actor who works with Bill Nighy is delighted, and that's what I had heard. There were rumors that he was good to work with. And of course, I've had a crush on him for decades, and that's okay. I'm married. I've also been married for decades. My husband understands it's okay that I have a crush on Bill Nighy. And so when I knew that Bill was willing to do it, I was thrilled. And well, he's generous and he's present, and he's always a good example to follow as an actor. I almost like watching other people act as much as I enjoy it myself, if not more. And so watching him and listening to him, and from the minute we started, we just got on very well. And I think he is an enormous talent. He also happens to be a great person, and that is, that's just a bonus. So he's a delightful man and a fine actor, and really a dedicated person to the craft. And he also knows how to have fun, which I also do, and I love that and I appreciate it as much as possible. So it's been great working with him. Josh O'Connor is a wonder. I had met him very briefly once before we were working on this. He has one of those people who is delightfully present when he's working, responsive, and so I was really amazed by him and felt I was immediately put into a scene if I'm with Josh, because he's present, he's there, he's doing it. And there's usually something surprising that he's doing. And he's clearly thought of, I don't know, it's just really lovely and delightful young actor who is now going to be off and doing more amazing things. But no, I really appreciated him and his sense of truth and his simplicity and his presence and just his whole demeanor. The relationship between Grace and Jamie, so I'm Grace, is complicated because my husband has left me, and I pull my son in to sort of try to get my husband back. And I think what I do with Jamie is what happens to a lot of people inadvertently when they're splitting up, especially the person who's been left, as is the case in this story. I'm the one who's left. My husband leaves me. So I pull him in a way that I'm just desperate to get my husband to come back. I love that about Grace. She doesn't give up, and she immediately thinks that there's something she can do. As many of us do when we're in a hopeless situation, we think, well, if I just do something, I can change this situation. It is out of her control, but she doesn't know that. And so Jamie becomes a way of linking herself to her husband because he won't see her. So that is part of the story, and what happens from that is the growth that he goes through and she goes through as well, which is to understand that nobody can change the situation, and that this is what's happened. It's out of her control, and it's out of his control. And so that's part of the beauty of the writing, is that Jamie also has to learn to let go of her, and she has to learn to not only let go of her husband, but also let go of her son and be her own person, independent of them. We're happy, aren't we, Edward?
Yes, we're fine.
家族3人の時間はいつでも穏やかで優しくて時々おせっかい。そんな日々がいつまでも続くと思っていた。
I'm going to leave.
You can't just walk away after 29 years.
I have tried for 29 years.
No. You don't know that. Have you tried?
Mum, he's in love!
Now you're living a different life.
That's enough.
There were 3 unhappy people, and now there's only 1.
All those years ago, I got on the wrong train.
ゴールデングローブ賞に輝く名優たちが紡ぐ家族それぞれのリスタート。
Terrible as it is, then I'll know that however bad it gets, I can last it out because you did before me.
The thing about unhappiness is, after a while, it stops being interesting.
彼らがたどり着いた思いもよらない希望とは。幸せの答え合わせ。